Hey, it's Tim with the University of Vinyl. Welcome back. It's taken me a few days to put this video up because I got something new and I wanted to kind of put it through its paces. I've done that. It finally arrived on Saturday. Let me just go off on a quick tangent and talk about the United Parcel Service, UPS. If you want to receive something in a timely fashion, make sure you tell the sender not to put signature required. Now, I guess it depends on your situation and where you are and what your physical delivery location looks like. For me, I've got a secure front door situation, and I was due to receive a package on Friday, and they gave me an estimated window in the afternoon. Of course, they delivered it at 9 o'clock in the morning, or attempted to deliver, and it had a stupid signature required. So I missed it on Friday. I wanted to set up this new, to me, vintage tube amp into my system and play around and tinker and do some listening all weekend long. Long story short, miraculously, the local UPS driver attempted redelivery on my package on Saturday morning. I was shocked. And thank God my wife was home. I was at the grocery store. Anyway, so beware of UPS and never call the 800 line number. It is just, it's a lot of frustration, let's put it that way. Avoid signature required. That is the tip of the day. Okay, let's start from the beginning. I was in New York City about a month ago now, and I walked in the Soho neighborhood, a very Tony retail establishment for modular furniture. Devin Turnbull of OJAS Speakers, OJAS, has an installation there and a really cool listening room. Now, Devin, if you don't know, go check out OJAS. He's done a bunch of interviews and featurettes with Steve Gutenberg, the audiophiliac. I think he's got something coming up with John Darko. Anyway, he had an all-tube system playing jazz through some amazing horn speakers, and I was just blown away. It was a Saturday. My wife was waiting for me at the Patagonia store 3 doors up the block, and you know, you can show up on a Saturday and they'll do listening sessions, and there's a limited amount of people that they'll let into the room. Anyway, I was just kind of gobsmacked by the sound, the quality of sound, the tone, the soundscapes that were coming from this system that was a 100% OJAS design system. So he built the tube amps, he built the speakers, and I was just kind of blown away. So, thinking to myself and knowing in the back of my mind, you know, I purchased these vintage Cornwall 2s from Klipsch several months ago now. I happened on a really good deal here locally. These are matching serial numbers. They're circa 1986 Cornwall 2s. I have been beyond pleased with the sound from these. And as you know, I've been running a Macintosh integrated MA6100 for about 3 years now. But listening to that system on that Saturday afternoon in Soho, I was just intoxicated and kind of blown away. It was one of the highlights of my trip in New York. Don't tell my family. And, you know, perusing the different audio forums like AudioGone and the Klipsch forum, very good, by the way, if you're looking for information. The Hoffman forum's a bit as well, but more than anything, I was really diving into the Klipsch forums, talking about vintage tube amps. And I kind of set in my mind after this New York trip, you know, I'm going to keep my eyes open I'm gonna have an open mind, and I'm gonna try and find a vintage Fisher or HH Scott unit, mainly for ratings, reviews, and affordability. I didn't want to go down the Macintosh route with a vintage tube amp, just for affordability, options. And I wanted to stick with the Fisher or HH Scott. Lo and behold, 2 weeks ago, I happened on a listing on eBay from a company that I actually purchased a reproduction of the original wood case for that Macintosh behind me, the MA6100. It's a company called Audio Classics. They're in Verstall, New York. Ring a bell? They're across the street from Macintosh's world headquarters. And they're a long-standing, very highly regarded dealer. They'll take in vintage amps, all kinds of hi-fi stuff. They will bring it up to spec. They will refurbish it. They will recap it. They will do whatever is needed. And they have an ongoing list of things for sale on their website, audioclassics.com. And then they have certain things that they put up on eBay. So I stumbled on this listing for an HH Scott Integrated 233. And the 233 uses the 7591 tubes, which are also highly regarded. And I pulled the trigger. I put in a pretty aggressive offer, and just kind of knowing, who I was dealing with, and the fact that this had been totally recapped and refurbished. They actually put in brand new Electro Harmonix tubes on the back of the unit, the output tubes, the four 7591s. I was kind of sold, and this thing was super clean. I'm going to show some photos and things as we move through this video. So I got it set up on Saturday. I had to tinker with some banana to spade adapters, because if you know the vintage tube amps, they all have the kind of screw down speaker connection terminal, a terminal strip at the very back, and if you're not using bare wire, which is recommended, it's a real pain. So I found these really nice gold banana to spade connectors, and they just worked amazingly. I mean, it took me 5 minutes to get the speakers set up. So, the sound. I decided to go with a bunch of albums, and I'm actually still working through this now. I've been pulling different genres and just doing critical listening, and really enjoying what I'm hearing. So, maybe in the future I might be able to kind of put into words a comparison of the new HH Scott compared to the Macintosh solid state that I have. But I don't know. It's really amazing. It was really immediate to me. It is pretty emotional. It's awesome. I mean, I dabbled with a tube phono stage preamp earlier this year. Really nice unit from Hagerman Labs called the Cornet. And I think it did add a different coloring to my sound output from just the solid state Mac. So it kind of piqued my interest, and I started looking at forums. And then, the weekend in New York, hearing this OGIS system in Soho, I was just blown away, like I said earlier. So I'm going to run through just a few things that I have been listening to from my collection, and I'll just kind of throw in a few thoughts. So this, of course, is my beloved, my cherished -2-1. It's got the misaligned apple on the back. This is a 1969 very early first pressing, Abbey Road. I put on side 2 because I wanted to see what was going to happen with Polythene Pam and the incredible electric guitar from George Harrison on that track as it kind of moves into She Came In Through the Bathroom Window. Holy shit. I was absolutely floored. It passed the first test for me. This really moved me. Polythene Pam. I can't really think of a better test. Here's one. This is the UHQR of Kind of Blue. This 33 1/3. I've got a numbered edition here. I'm not sure where they are on this UHQR, if it ever sold out or not. I know there's a double 45 as well, but I couldn't be more happier than having this in the collection. This is a cornerstone piece for me, and I was just wow. It's like the first time hearing, I put it on side one. Freddie Freeloader in blue and green, just amazing. This was on late Saturday afternoon, and my wife was upstairs, and she came down and said, who is that? And so it's Miles Davis Kind of Blue, and she was impressed with the sound. So yes, there's that. I wanted to switch it up and throw in some modern-ish 1984 Cocteau Twins, the amazing record Treasure, and I wanted to hear Liz Fraser. How was her incredible vocal, otherworldly vocals, how were they going to be channeled with this new setup? And they were just amazing, particularly Lorelei, track number 2, side 1. I'm lucky, I've got a 4AD original UK pressing, which is the way to go with all of these Cocteau Twin albums, but whew. Back to Miles Davis, I wanted to hear some electric Miles, and it's hard to beat Jack Johnson side 1. John McLaughlin's guitar is just amazing, and man, there was punch, there was slam, there was drive, there was a roller coaster of sound being produced in this chain that I have currently. So, whoa. So last Friday, the amp didn't come in the mail, and I was kind of at my wit's end. I was disappointed, and I had to sit on a stupid conference call for work. So I decided to do it from my car because I wanted to go back into Driver 8 Records in the Old Town of Fort Collins. I've talked about Driver 8 and the owner, Charles. And lo and behold, he keeps kind of piecemealing. He does a used drop on Saturdays, and he had an incredible score that I did an entire video on a month or two ago. He purchased a big portion of early demos and first pressings. Some were sealed like this. This is, of course, Spirit of Eden, Talk Talk. There's that hype. This was sealed since 1988. The collection that he purchased a portion of came from a retired DJ in Castle Rock, Colorado, which is about a 2-hour drive from Fort Collins. Oh my God, this is absolutely amazing. I opened this up. You're always concerned about a sealed record. There is that original U.S. label. EMI America was the label. Anyway, you're always concerned about a sealed record, in this case from 1988. But in the back of my mind, I was thinking, you know what? This has been on a shelf in the basement of this guy's home for 36 years. So I was willing to take the chance in it, and there's nothing wrong with the record. It's near mint condition. Last but not least, I wanted to kind of listen to a Dynaflex pressing. And this is a 74 repress of Hunky Dory on that Dynaflex. This is just a dynamic pressing and air and punch and drive and slam and imaging. This little HH Scott, I think it puts out less than 40 watts per channel. Maybe it's 28 to 30. I can't remember the specs right now, but ample power, ample slam, ample drive. Just blown away. I don't know what this bodes for the future, but I'm really happy I decided to kind of go down this path. I'm just so pleased. So that's today's video. Something new in the audio setup. I might do another video down the road and talk about it some more. Currently, this is the way I'm gonna sit here with this. I'm not sure what to do with the MA6100. That unit is so clean that I really don't want to part with it. It's just gonna stay in the collection. You know, I also have a really sweet Harman Kardon 730 twin-powered receiver that I have in my office on a second system, and I might need to plug in the Hagerman Cornet tube phono stage and try that in comparison to the onboard phono stage with the Harman Kardon. We'll see how that goes. That's it for today. Thanks for listening and watching, and let me know, anyone out there, are you running any kind of vintage tube equipment? Let me know what you think. Have you had an HH Scott in your collection before? What do you think about those units? Pretty amazing company. That unit is circa 64, 65. That's when they had the 233s in their lineup. So, really pleased. Thanks for watching.